Hello, lovely. Do you want to look effortlessly trendy and elegant without chasing every new fashion drop and spending a ton of money? If so, this is the video for you because today I'm going to share how to look trendy and elegant while making the most of things that you probably already have in your wardrobe. So, if that sounds interesting to you, then I would like to welcome you to Always Classy and Elegant, aka ACE Academy. I am Brandy, your host, coach, and mentor, and as a certified international etiquette consultant, I am here to help you get the knowledge and tools you need to be your best. On this channel, we talk about ways to curate a lifestyle that is classy and elegant and feminine, and of course, it is all anchored in etiquette. So, if that sounds like something you are interested in, then please remember to like, subscribe, and join our classy community. Now, back to the video. So, as I mentioned, I am going to discuss ways to look trendy without chasing trends or spending a ton of money. And I decided to do this video because I frequently get compliments on how I look, my outfit, appearance, something to do with my appearance. And I've been told that I'm trendy, which really surprised me because I don't chase trends, pretty much never have. And so I really sat down and thought about it, and I asked myself, why is it that people think that I'm trendy when I'm not? So today I want to share with you the things that I've been doing that have been getting me that image, if you will. And I want to give you some tips so that you can start to incorporate them for yourselves without spending a lot of money every season. So let's glide into this. Tip number one is purchasing quality, timeless pieces in quality fabrics with quality construction. So basically, I'll say tip number one is classic, high quality pieces or staple items. So these would be items that are well constructed and they are classics, things like tapered or tailored trousers. I know with trousers right now, the wide leg trouser is trending. And while that's fine for right now, it's not always in style, but a traditional tailored trouser is always going to be in style. So think of things like that. Think of things like a nice tailored or tapered pencil skirt, straight leg trousers or jeans, A-line skirts, things like that are always going to be in style. For tops, you want to think nice collared shirts in timeless or natural fibers like cotton, silk, linen when it's seasonable, things like that, or blends of those fabrics. You want to consider classic cardigans, v-neck sweaters. Crew necks are okay, but not everyone can pull off a crew neck as well as a v-neck. A v-neck is universally flattering on pretty much everyone. For dresses, think of things like wrap dresses. If you missed my last video, take a look at it where I reminded you that the wrap dress is flattering to pretty much all figure shapes. So that is another traditional silhouette, as well as sheath dresses, shift dresses, which seem to be having a moment ever since Tucker Nook came out with that tweed dress. I think it was this past winter, if I'm not mistaken, you know, the one with the braided tweed collar. Anyway, think of silhouettes like that that are classic. They're not going out of style. You can do variations of those silhouettes, like have different designs on them, maybe a little bit of pleating. Sometimes color blocking might be appropriate depending on how it's done. You can think of things like pleating in certain places, different design elements that give you have the same silhouette but just a twist to it, if you will. And then for outerwear, think of things like your classic trench coat, your classic tailored blazer, pea coat, things like that. These are going to be your classic staple items that will never go out of style. As I mentioned before, but let me state it again, procure these items in high quality fabrics, natural fibers, things like cotton, wool, silk, blends of those fabrics, linen, even when it's seasonable. And you can get blends of these fabrics as well. But those are the types of fabrics where when you combine these classic silhouettes with these high quality fabrics and good construction, they're never going out of style. They will last you decades with proper care. Tweed right now is having a trendy moment, or it has been for the past couple of years, and for good reason, because when that is done in quality fibers like a nice wool cotton blend or silk and wool blends, it's a forever fabric. So for an elegant edge, I want to give you some tips to help you with maintaining these items so that they keep their shape, they keep their classic timelessness, and they keep their elegance. So number one, proper storage. You've got to take good care of your items, especially if you spend a lot on investing in these items. Well, then you want to protect your investment. So you do that with hanging them properly on the proper types of hangers, or folding them if appropriate, but folding them properly. You want to eliminate as many wrinkles as possible. So be a little more meticulous with your folding there. The other thing is gentle cleaning. Take them to the dry cleaner. A lint brush. Keeping a lint brush on hand is pretty much a must. It's always going to come in handy. But if you do these things to take care of your garments, they will look fresh for years, and you can keep them for decades. Okay, tip number two, curate a classic wardrobe in neutrals. So the next thing that you want to do is consider the colors in which you procure these items. I would recommend getting as many of them in the same color as you can. That way you can easily dress in a monochromatic schema. However, if the goal here is to look for neutrals, things like black, navy, cream, white, off-white, beige, taupe, gray, things, colors that are going to match pretty much each other and almost any other color that you might pair with them. So that's the key here. You're building a solid foundation so that when we stack the fun on top, you've got things that will already match things. Let me not get ahead of myself. I'm going to get there in just a moment. But the idea here is to procure things or reach for things that will mix and match beautifully and effortless. A bonus tip for you is, as I mentioned, getting a little ahead of myself, I mentioned dressing in a monochromatic look. That is about the easiest way to achieve a chic, classic, sleek, and elegant look that just looks instantly put together and polished. And it's so effortless when you have those basics in neutral colors, as I mentioned before. So I want to share with you a story. So many of these videos, I have a story with you. And today's story is I'm scrolling, minding my business, scrolling YouTube, and I came across a video of a lady. I'm sorry, I have no idea what her name is. I can't even remember it to even try to go back and find the video to name the account for you. But anyway, she was talking about her level up journey and her past. And essentially, long story short, she got sick of trying to figure out her outfit. Her decision was to just get everything in black. All her clothes, tops, blouses, shirts, t-shirts, trousers, suits, dresses, handbags, shoes, everything in black. And for her, she said that made her life easier. The point here is curating multiple pieces in the same color or in colors that match. And I am going to recommend that you do the same color. I am not saying wear all black, because I think for a lot of us that would be entirely too boring. Some of us, like me, I might actually get depressed doing that. If it works for you, then by all means proceed with that. But my intention here for you is to share that when you curate classic pieces in those classic colors and you have multiples in the same color, it makes putting yourself together so much easier and so much more effortless. Okay, gliding along, tip number 3 is adding affordable, trendy touches. And this is where even more of the fun comes in because first things first, ladies, you do not have to buy a new wardrobe every season. Just invest in a few timely updated touches here and there. So again, once you've got your foundation curated, then you can look for some pieces to give your look or your wardrobe an updated vibe. Now, since these trends and what's hot or current, it changes from season to season and year to year. I do not recommend that you spend a lot of money on these things unless your finances afford you to do so and you can actually buy a new wardrobe every season. Then by all means live your best life and have fun with that. But with that, here's an example of what I'm thinking of and what I'm saying. At this moment, there is this trend for the ballet high heel. I think they're kind of cute. And nonetheless, I would not encourage you to spend hundreds upon hundreds for that style in the Louboutin version because once again, we do not know how long it is going to be fashionable. You can find that same look for a fraction of the price. And while I am all for quality, getting the best quality that you can afford, I'm also for being reasonable. And depending on how much you like it, how much wear you may get out of it, it probably just does not make sense to spend several hundreds of dollars on such an item. Adding in a nice updated shoe, a nice updated handbag, or belts, scarves, even, or consider making these updates with jewelry. There seems to even be jewelry trends from season to season. Those are maybe some areas where you can add some things to your wardrobe, add these accoutrements, if you will, and keep an updated look. So again, depending on what it is, you decide for yourself how much you might want to spend on it. These are just my tips, so, and some of my opinion. So take it, take what you want, leave what you want. But overall, what I'm trying to say here is when it comes to updating your wardrobe using accessories, think of your accessories as the season's spices. You don't need a whole new recipe, but maybe just a little extra spice here and there to spice it up. Okay, let's glide along. Tip number 4 is tailoring, because tailoring can change everything. And this is where you can take something that looks basic or average, or you can take something and make it look luxe or high end. Another, I guess I would say, elegance edge here is taking an inexpensive piece that's got some fairly good construction to it in a good quality natural fiber fabric and get it tailored. Tailoring is, I don't want to say a cheat code, but we hear about it, but it's maybe a thing that seems to go by the wayside because it's given less importance and less thought or impact. Well, it's got a lot of impact, but it's just given less importance in the media because fashion is a machine. Things change every season, and the reason why is they want to keep us buying. But when it comes to these timeless pieces, tailor them because that's what can help to immediately elevate and upscale an inexpensive item, or even if it is something that you've paid a little bit more for, it's customizing it to fit your body so that it always looks great on you and therefore you always look your best. Okay, gliding along again. The next tip, tip number 5, is mixing textures for depth. So elegance does not mean flat or boring. You can certainly mix textures like a soft knit and leather or silk and denim. You can do these things to add some depth and some richness to your outfits, especially when it's done in neutrals. I am a sucker for silks and satins in a neutral color, especially a lighter color like a beige or a cream, taupe even, and navy blue. I seem to really have taken to navy blue over black lately. But anyway, the point here is this is where you can play with things that you might have, maybe even in the same color family, but you can give it a little bit of extra snap or a twist to it by having a monochromatic outfit. Say you are wearing a black pencil skirt. Well, instead of a cotton button down collared shirt, maybe do that in a silk or a satin instead. That immediately looks so elegant and luxurious, and it can even look high end so long as the fabric quality and the construction is good. So something else here for an elegance edge for you is with those silky fabrics. That is one of the, I keep wanting to say cheat code. So let me just go ahead and say cheat code. That's kind of a cheat code to elevating your look and having something look more elegant. So think about it. I'll use an example of a collared shirt again. You can have that collared shirt in a cotton, which is perfectly fine, suitable. But then you take that same style and you do that in a silk or a satin. Instant luxuriousness right there. And you can apply this concept with everything from pajamas to your pants, your blouses, your skirts. Tip number 6, using belts to refresh old pieces. This can make such an impact. A good belt can work wonders for an outfit. So consider this. You have, excuse me, consider this. You have an outfit that has a tie belt of the same fabric. So it's one of those where it just wraps around your waist, you tie it in a bow or a knot, and you go on about your business. What if you take that tie belt off and put on a nice leather belt? It can be a belt with a simple buckle, or it can have a more ornate buckle. The point here is it's an easy way to uh, give a structured, more current look to something that you may have had in your closet for years or decades without buying anything new. Now, if you find that your wardrobe does not have a sufficient variety of belts, well, then consider investing in some new belts. I do recommend quality materials here in construction as well, because the better quality the belt, the longer it's going to last you. However, I do not recommend spending hundreds of dollars for designer belts. Example, if this is something where you want to spend your money on, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to share my experience with you here. When that 𝐲𝐿 belt came out from Gucci, and it was still fairly new, and for whatever reason I just really wanted one of those belts, so I went ahead and spent the money on it. That's one of my biggest regretful purchases, because I found I did not wear that belt nearly as much as I I didn't even think about it before I got it, to be honest with you. I just saw it several times. I wanted it. I went and got it. Wish I didn't get it, because the thing is, it's more closet decoration than it is ornamentation on my outfits. So that's something to think about. I have since learned my lesson and invested in good quality leather belts in a variety of colors, but I will not do that again. So, ladies, it's completely possible to find good quality belts at reasonable prices. You don't have to invest in high end designer. There are some fantastic pieces that you can get. And I also like the mystery of seeing someone with a great piece, whether it's a bag or a belt or a shoe, but you can't tell who the maker is or what brand it is. So it gives the woman that air of mystery to her, and that adds to your elegance. Okay. Tip number 7 is nail and hair updates. So we cannot forget about our hair and our nails. We have to consider them as part of our look. Ladies, they are technically accessories that can speak volumes about you, who you are, what you're representing, and they can make or break your look. So right now, at the time that I'm recording this video, bouncy layers, feathered layers, is a heavily layered look with hair is in style. If that's something that will work for your hair type, that's a perfectly fine way to update your look and give your overall appearance a more current or trendy effect. However, if I would not go overboard, so I would say don't give your hair too much of a chop if you're not sure that that's something that you're going to want to carry with you for a while, or if it will even be in style for long. There have been so many haircuts that have come and gone just even so far this year. I think we've heard about like the wolf haircut, mushroom haircut, which to me looks a lot like a mullet, which I don't see that being in style for too long at any point. Some of these other haircut names, they escape me right now, but every season there seems to be a trend of cuts and colors. Consider those, but my caution to you there is don't go overboard. Don't go too far so that to the point that when that trend leaves or fades, you're looking dated. As for nails, they also speak volumes, and there seems to be trending nail colors, trending nail art every single season as well. That's a great, quick, and easy way to update your look. In a sometimes, I guess, depending on what you do, it might be a more subtle way. However, the benefit there is it's easy to change, fairly easy to change. Okay, so there you have it, 7 legit and budget-friendly ways to update your look and to stay current without spending a ton of money. Ladies, I want you to remember that style is not about having more, but it's about making the most of what you already have and doing it with intention. So I hope you found this helpful. If so, let me know in the comments. Let me know which of these tips you'll be incorporating into your wardrobing. And if you have any tips that weren't included here, share them with the community. You know, we women, we like to dish and talk and share our ideas and experiences. So please do. With that, you know what to do. Stay soft and subscribe. And remember, always keep it classy and elegant. Bye for now.